strong.
Welcome back to Crypto for Freedom, where we talk about gaining financial freedom through the cryptocurrency markets. If you could like the video, if you like the content, that would be amazing. Now let's jump into the charts. Well, the price had a massive dump yesterday, bringing us all the way down to the bottom of this channel, but we're still in a constructive uptrend. Fortunately, this was just a wick out of the trend, and we wicked right back up into the triangle, and we wicked right back up into the channel. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video for my thoughts on if we're still in a bull run for Dogecoin. Zooming out on the weekly chart, you can see that Dogecoin has been in this symmetrical triangle for the last 4 years, finally breaking out. Once we had a breakout, we had an initial back test, and then we started forming an uptrend. And now just yesterday, we saw a massive dump out of this uptrend, come down for a second retest of this trend line, which first was acting as resistance and now has been flipped into support 2 times, which is actually an amazing sign. Even when you zoom out, Dogecoin is still making a higher low right now, which is very encouraging. And I think Dogecoin is about to do the unthinkable, heading up into a new range, a new paradigm of money. We're going to see, in my opinion, Dogecoin come back up to the top of this channel, break out above 48 cents, the previous local resistance and the local high, and then finally come up to the all-time high. We'll probably have a pullback there to back test this 48 cents level. And then from there, I expect us to come up and see a new high for the cycle. How high exactly? Now let's jump over to Bitcoin on the weekly, because Bitcoin is still finding support on this legacy uptrending line and resistance on this line here. And in my opinion, it's still decision time for Bitcoin. Either Bitcoin is going to break down and we're going to head into a 1-year bear market out of this rising wedge pattern, that it's been making for the last 1,694 days. That's over 4 years. Or Bitcoin's going to go into a super cycle and break up out of this rising wedge, which historically rising wedges are bearish patterns. If Bitcoin's actually able to break out of this rising wedge to the upside, that's when we should see Dogecoin come up and break out above 48 cents, have that back test, and then come up to make the new high. Now I want to talk about if 48 cents was the high for the cycle for Dogecoin, where are we going to see the low? Because we've already seen an 80% retracement for Dogecoin over the last basically 11 months since we saw a high back here in November. 334 days. Over the last 334 days, we've already seen an 80% retracement. And in the last bear market, Dogecoin went down to find its initial low after 396 days from the peak. So if we were going to extrapolate this out to 396 days, and this high over here in November of 2024 was the high for the cycle, that means we could see Dogecoin be going down for the next 2 more months to find a low for the cycle, but potentially, or maybe even just come down something like this and then find a base and then break up later on. I just find that highly unlikely, considering that we've seen a new high for each one of Dogecoin cycles dating back to when it first dropped in December 2013, and then another new high at the end of 2017, another new high at the end of 2021, and the trend is your friend until the end. So if we don't see another high for Dogecoin this cycle, I'm actually going to be pretty shocked, considering that Dogecoin, once we broke out of this downtrend here, went up 6,100%. Once we broke out of this downtrend here, Dogecoin went up 13,000%. And now that we've broken out of this downtrend since the last bull market peak, are we going to see a 6,000 to 10,000% move for Dogecoin to bring Dogecoin from the breakout at 16 cents up to a 6,000% gain would be a $10 Dogecoin, and a 12,000% gain we could see. Well, I really don't think we're going to see a $20 Dogecoin this cycle, but I don't think that anywhere from $2 to honestly $10 is really out of the cards. Now, measuring from the bottom over here in 2017, Dogecoin actually went up 19,000%. From the bottom over here, Dogecoin went up 53,000%. And from the bottom over here in September of 2023, I mean, even a 10,000% move from there would bring Dogecoin all the way up to $6.50. And a 20,000% move would bring Dogecoin up to $13. Now, it is highly unlikely, but anything is possible. And, you know, depending if Bitcoin's able to go on a massive run here, and say the Fed starts to cut interest rates even more here, we see Bitcoin go on a massive run. Who knows how high Dogecoin could actually go. So thank you guys again for watching the video. If you're new to the channel, or if you've just been watching a while and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I believe only 15% of my watchers are subscribed to the channel. Make sure to go check out all my links below in the playlist for all my other videos. And remember that none of this is financial advice. You should always do your own research. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always have a steady stream of income coming in and an emergency fund on the side to protect your assets. And with that, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.